What's up, good people of the world? Connor here. So today I have a discussion that I want to have, and I want you to know right off the bat that this is probably going to be a little bit of a longer video than I usually have. Maybe 10 minutes, maybe more, maybe less. I don't know, because there's something I want to discuss. A person commented on my my new trans song with my new voice, and said, and I'm not going to say their name, "It's trendy to be trans. Like all fads, they eventually fade." Also, by the way, I'm sitting outside because it's beautiful, and that's where I'm at today. Okay, and to which I responded to this post and said, no, being transgender is not a fad, it's not a phase. There is a medical terminology, there is diagnoses to be had. To which they responded, confused, dysfunctional, traumatized, abused individuals often go to extremes such as transgenderism or transracial in order to deal with an underlying issue that needs to be addressed. It's not that people are transgender, it's that they need help with traumatic childhood issues or other social anxiety disorders. Okay. All right. So no, I did some research, and because I want, sorry, my dog is walking around. I'm just making sure she's good. I did some research to see what other people had to say about it, and I didn't go hard into like scholarly articles or anything like that. But I did do some looking to see what other people have had to say about this. I found an article saying, "Is it just a phase? What to do when transgender youths ask to transition? Teens are becoming transgender because it's trendy, experts say, and coming out as trans isn't a teenage fad." This is from the New York Times, this one. Okay, so I just want to, to say that there's stuff that you can read to educate yourself, person who commented, okay? Of course, there's going to be articles that also go against whatever I'm about to say, but as a trans person, I feel it's my obligation to tell you that being transgender is not a fad. There's a plane. Okay, so within these articles, it talks about, there's different sections. There's, what is a transition? What if it's just a phase? And I want to read this to you. That directly goes to this person who commented. These anxieties, talking about people wanting to transition and not actually, although harm, is my client's distress part of the normal ups and downs of adolescence, or is it truly dysphoria? And that's, before I go on, it talks about how as an adolescent, as a child, as a teenager, you go through phases as just a person, whether you feel aligned with your sexuality or not. You change your outfits based on what other people are wearing. You change your behavior based on other people's behavior, because that's what you're trying to learn who you are as a person through your adolescence. Okay, so this is not, I'm not just saying this is part of the cycle, the psyche as a person, who you're trying to learn who you are and what you are meant to be, or so on and so forth. Okay, because that's part of the human experience. Okay, so that's one. So now, going off of that, this says, these anxieties are exacerbated by a commonly cited statistic that 80% of children expressing cross-sex identity issues will not persist in identifying as transgender into adulthood. However, the basis of the statistic is quite misleading, as study authors classified children who are lost to follow up as desisters. The author also used medical intervention as the outcome variable, indicating gender persistence, which problematically conflates gender identity with a desire for hormone therapy or surgery. This study design creates undue panic over the supposed instability of transgender identification in young children. Okay, it sounds confusing, but basically there is this research that says that it's not going to wanting to go through hormone therapy or wanting to transition is not going to continue on to adulthood. Now, in certain cases, this might be true, because there are cases, I didn't read about specific cases, that people have wanted to go to the opposite gender to kind of push away any possible terrible experiences, like if you did have sexual trauma. But that's not those that's a different thing. That's not a trans person. That's someone who's going through trauma. So that's a different thing. That's not even in the same. It's not even in the same realm, okay? A person who is transgender is experiencing a misalignment with their biological sex and who they are up here, okay? So who you think you are and who you are physically aren't aligned, and that's what transgender is, okay? It's not, oh, I want to change to a different sex because, oh, everybody else is doing it. Oh, I want to change to a different sex because something happened to me and I need to. That's a different issue, okay? So being transgender is not that. Being transgender is I don't like saying it's a diagnosable condition, but it is. I mean, I'm a transgender person and I went to therapy and doctors and all of this. Now, that's another thing. You can't just transition because it's fun. Now, speaking from my experience, and a lot of other doctors do the same thing, you can't just go and start hormone therapy. You can't just go and change your name. You can't just go and change your gender legally, okay? You have to go through a screening process. For me, I have been going to therapy for years before I ever figured out that I was transgender. But once I came to that point where I was like, wait a second, I am trans, I went to a doctor and I had to wait months and go to therapy before we could even talk about starting testosterone, which is hormone replacement therapy, okay? So it's not just going right into it because you want to. There are different steps, and you really have to understand, and they make sure that you understand what it is that you're about to go through. You have to understand the health risks. You have to understand what's going to change. You have to understand that it's not really reversible, that this is something that you want, the risks to your body in general. People, you have to understand that this is a process. This isn't, oh man, I really want to do this. Everybody's getting changed. I want to be a girl. Oh, I want to be a guy. That's not how it works. And anyone who thinks that, I just think that there needs to be more education and more understanding, because there are plenty of people who I have in my life who don't understand that either. So I hope that this can help clear up some misconceptions that there are about being transgender, because like I said, you have to go through a lot of stuff before you can even start the first step of being trans. I can't understand why someone would think that someone's just choosing to... That's my dog, sorry. She does that. I see you. This isn't something that we're choosing to do because we want to, because it's cool, because it's fun. It isn't fun. It is hard. It is heartbreaking. It is depressing. It is challenging. It is one of the most difficult things, in my opinion, that a person can go through. When you feel like you're trapped in a body that doesn't fit what's going on in your head, it is very, very challenging. And that is not something you choose to do because everybody else is doing it. You choose to do it because once you're done, you feel happier, you feel better. And that's in this too. I'm going to put these links on my page. Once you transition as a trans person, there has been research proving that depression and anxiety can, not all of it potentially, but can be alleviated, because that dysphoria is not as strong or is gone because you went through that transition. So now that I've been venting for 9 minutes and 16 seconds, I'm going to try to put it to an end here. And I really wanted to get that out, and I know that there are plenty of people that you may come across that think that this is some kind of phase or fad. It's not. And don't let people convince you, because you are not alone. And there are people like me and tons of people also on YouTube that talk about their transitions, and the reality is it is not a fad. It is something that's going through you. And don't let somebody tell you that it's not real, because it is. All right? So that's what I have to say about that. Please don't be afraid to, obviously just comment and tell me what your thoughts are. I'm not the most educated person in the entire world. I'm not saying I am, but as a trans person, I've been through this, and I know I didn't do it because somebody else wanted me to. Okay, I wouldn't have chosen this if I didn't feel like this is who I am. So, comment. Let me know what you think. And like I said a million times, you can email me. I put it a long time ago, but my email is Connor, CONNOR, James, JAMES, 2013 at gmail.com. And I don't really need hate emails. I'm here to help you, whoever is out there that needs just to talk to me or to talk to somebody. Don't be afraid. So that's what I have to say. Hopefully I touched all the subjects that I needed to. I will attach links to these articles, but you, of course, can just look them up. I just looked up, is transgender a phase? And a lot of stuff comes up. So that's what I have to say. I love you all, and talk to you soon.